the project we are working on for this video is so long awaited. I don't even know how to begin to explain. Basically, I want to say 2 years ago when I was in China, I freehand knit this like asymmetrical cutout top using Chinese buttons. I found that there were a lot of similar knit patterns that already existed. So then I was like, okay, maybe I'll come out with like a crochet version since I haven't seen that. And then I made a crochet version. It's like this light blue one that uses normal buttons. I used cotton because I wanted it to be more of like a warm weather breathable textile, but the cotton was just a little bit too thick and stiff, and I don't feel like the top stretched and moved with the body the way I wanted it to. Point is, we're making yet another version of this top, and this one hopefully will be like the version that I'm happy with. Like I mentioned, I want this version to be a softer textile. These two are both alpaca, which I recognize is a little bit weather confused, but you could use like a linen, a silk, like something less warm, but that isn't too stiff. So this is the Hedgehog Fibers Alpaca Boucle. I used the like bluish purple colorway of this to knit that long sleeve top with like the thumb holes and the buttons. And then this is the King Fiber Baby Teddy. I feel like the last two I made have been like a lighter colorway, so I kind of want to try to go for this more like earth tone. And I do want to use a thinner yarn for this because I do find the top looks better with like a thinner textile, but the boucle will really help it still look very opaque and look more like a knit garment versus being obviously crochet. The construction honestly isn't that complicated. We're basically just going to start by crocheting a rectangular panel, and you're just going to be increasing on one side of the panel and decreasing on the other side of the panel to create like this diagonal seam. And look, I'm wearing the beaded crochet poncho that I made last year. I just love how this looks with like a more bohemian outfit. And I don't know if you can tell, but I chopped off like half my hair yesterday. I just cut it myself. The ends were just so dead and it was getting really heavy. But yeah, let me go wind these, start the top. Once I have the panel going, I think this will make a little bit more sense. Whoa, this is my first time seeing my hair wet after I cut it, and it looks like I literally have no hair, but it'll grow back. Anyway, I actually got quite a bit done in the last 2 days. I realize it's kind of looking like a whole lot of nothing right now, but actually, I need to change out of my cat's eye shirt because I think I need to put on something more form-fitting to show you what's going on here. What's kind of tricky about this top is until you attach the buttons, it's a little bit hard to like put it on your body / visualize what it's going to look like. But basically you can see that we're creating this like diagonal seam that's going to go from here. So for the first few inches, all I was doing was increasing a stitch on one side and then decreasing a stitch on the other side. So we're like maintaining the same width, but creating these two diagonals. And then once I get past the smallest part of my body, like past the waist, I have a wider rib cage, so my body starts to get wider right here. And then I started doing the increase stitch on this side, but not decreasing on this side. So you can see like on this side, it's pretty much straight up and down here. And what that's doing is adding extra width. And I basically just kept doing that until I got to like my bust portion. What I will say about this pattern is it's going to be more like a guide. It'll explain how to make it based on your own body. It's not going to be like a size rated pattern where you can just pick a size and make one for your friend. I know that's not as convenient, but I do think that this is a top where it's really hard to know if you have it right. If you're not like putting it on the body, it's going to be worn on as you make it. So just keep that in mind. It's like a made to measure guide type thing. Okay, my hair is getting this tank top wet, so I'm gonna put on my cat's eye hoodie. That is much better. And speaking of pattern writing, I get a lot of questions about how I got into like freestyling my own designs or learning how to write my own patterns. And one resource that I have recommended a bunch of times before is Craftsy. They are also kindly sponsoring this video. They have thousands of courses on all things creative. So crocheting and knitting, obviously, but also like cake decorating, sewing, quilting. I think they are really differentiated from the free tutorials that you can find online. Like if you want to learn how to do one specific stitch, sure, you can just look that up on YouTube. But Craftsy's courses are really a curriculum. They will teach you different concepts and explain how to apply them to your garment construction. For example, a very relevant course for this top is a course on all the different closures that you can use on crochet garments. So like how to make buttonholes, how to install zippers. And the last pattern I wrote was for my long fitted knit top. And that was the first pattern where I ever did bust shaping. And I learned that from a Craftsy course that's specifically on bust shaping. It explains like the math and how to use short rows to add the extra volume here. I just think it's very easy to get comfortable and follow patterns and use these techniques without actually understanding what you're doing. And if you want to give them a try, you are in luck. The first 1,000 people to either scan this QR code or click the link in the description down below will get a full year of premium Craftsy membership for only $1.49. That is valid for new members only. And so the next step for this, I've kind of reached the length of like the widest point of my body, like basically where my nipples are. This is when we're gonna start doing the opposite. We want to start decreasing the width of the garment. So I'm going to not do increases on this side, but I am going to do the decreases on this side until we reach this armpit height. And that's when we're going to split into making front panel and back panel. That part gets a little bit tricky because you're going to have like 2 front panels, right? And then 1 panel in the back. Oh, and in terms of buttons, I did want to use Chinese buttons because they're honestly a little bit easier to incorporate. But even though I have so many, I have like black, cream, red, pink. I don't think any of them go with this colorway. So I went into my normal button stash, and these are from a vintage button seller that sells at Vogue Knitting Live. It's like this knitting and crochet convention in New York that I go to every year. I think these would both work. These like square wooden ones though, I kind of want to save for like a cardigan. I think these teal ones are so perfect for this project. Like just look how well it matches the color story. And hopefully you can see what I mean. The thin yarn gives you like a really nice thin textile, but the boucle also makes it a little bit more opaque. Like I don't like when you can see the individual crochet stitches. And so I like that this almost kind of looks like a knit fabric. Right now, very random, but I am gonna head out and go to Uniqlo because I'm actually flying out to Mexico City tomorrow morning, and I have like several outfits that involve a boxy white t-shirt, which I strangely don't own. And I know you guys really love my travel vlogs, and I do have a Mexico City vlog from last year, but I don't think I'm gonna vlog for YouTube on this trip just because I do find that traveling gets pretty draining for me because I'm trying to like capture so much content, both for YouTube and for short form like Instagram and TikTok. And I just wanna be able to enjoy the moment a little bit more this time. I am flying from Mexico City back to Southern California just to spend a few days in LA and back home in Irvine to see my parents. So I will probably pick this back up then when I'm a little bit more settled, but it is a really beautiful sunny day outside. So let's go get that t-shirt, go on a little walk, get our steps in. picking you up. Oh! I know. Okay, anticlimactic. Oh my god, you're eating so slowly. Is it good? First things first, if it looks like I am actively damp on your screen right now, that's because I am. It is so freaking hot in my room. It's like almost 90 degrees outside, and I could install my window AC unit, but I'm moving out of this apartment at the end of the month, which is in like a week, and it's supposed to drop back to the 60s tomorrow, so I'm like, let me just tough it out. But I need to leave my apartment so that I can go sit somewhere that has air conditioning because I'm dying. Here's how our top is looking though. I've seamed the shoulders and okay, I need to put it on or it like doesn't make any sense. So you can see on this side, we had the diagonal continue up this way. And then we also had to add a little bit of length to help extend over the shoulder to connect to the back. And then on this side, it's like one continuous diagonal up to the shoulder seam. I also went ahead and crocheted along these edges to A, add some extra length, and B, this is kind of hard to explain, but like when you end up adding the buttons, you're going to be like cinching the top. I like to do some like tighter slip stitches along this edge so that it's like very tight. You don't want this edge to be super stretchy because then when you add the buttons, you might get like some weird like flaring on the seams between the buttons. Once the top is done, I think you'll see what I mean a little bit more. I also need to take this off because oh my god, it's so hot. And in terms of how we're going to be adding the buttons, I like to take just some like elastic thread and I basically sew the elastic thread into like a little loop along the edge, and then that creates like a stretchy string to go over the button. And that's kind of perfect for this top because it like fits very snugly around you. And if you have kind of an elastic buttonhole, it gives you some extra give so that the top has like more stretch to stretch with your body. Again, it'll make more sense once the top is done. I also do want to give this a bit of a block because I kind of undershot, like if you're looking at the back panel and thinking that looks really narrow, it is a little bit narrow for my shoulders. That's just because I low-key fucked up the math. And that's another reason I kind of want to add sleeves because if you look at it from the back, it's kind of giving racer back right now, which is not the vibe I'm going for. And I know I said like, oh, I'm going to be checking back in and I'm going to be in Southern California after Mexico City. It was really nice to not have to vlog or like crochet or knit when I was in Mexico City. You'll hear more about this on the podcast, but I just have been like struggling a bit with like my mental health and depression and burnout. So I wanted to just give myself some more intentional time off. And then when I got to California, I wasn't there for that long, so I also kind of wanted to keep taking a break. But to make up for it, I'm going to show you everything that I bought when I was in Mexico City and in LA, because I surprisingly did some shopping there too. I was really good, by the way. I got no clothing items. I only got accessories because I just like truly don't believe I need more clothing. This is the piece I'm most excited about. It's this gorgeous vintage 9 West bag that has like pony hair and just like the gold detailing and the turquoise. I'm like healing my relationship with like turquoise and mint. Those are like the colors that I really associate with like middle school, elementary school. Like that's when I was obsessed with those colors. And so I think for a long time, they kind of gave me the ick. But now I'm like coming back around to them. Like I'm really loving mint. So this was actually going with like all the outfits that I was wearing in Mexico City. I ended up paying around like $50 US for it. And if you want to know where I got all these things, like if you look on YouTube Shorts or Instagram Reels or TikTok, I have like short form shopping vlogs where I show you everywhere I shop. And if you look inside, it also has a really fun animal print lining. I put everything else that I bought in here. So this silk scarf was only a few bucks. Once again, a colorway that I really love, like the pinks and the oranges. And I tend to style this as kind of like a scarf belt. So I actually already wore this in Mexico City with like, it was like a white top and gray kind of trouser shorts. I mostly went in on the jewelry. Obviously I don't need more jewelry either, but I just find it easier to justify because I'm like, I will actually wear it multiple times and it takes up less space in my tiny New York City apartment. So for necklaces, I got this like beaded cross necklace, and I have a lot more silver jewelry than gold, so this has been really fun to pair with things. I also like that you can wear it like a little bit longer. And then I got, once again, a turquoise necklace. This one is so freaking pretty, and I have a pair of turquoise earrings. Let me find them. These ones right here, I got them in the Bahamas, literally senior year of high school. So what is that, 2015? So I've had these earrings for 11 years. Like, this is why I feel more justified to buy jewelry, because I really do collect it and keep it for a long time. Oh, and both these necklaces I think were like under 10 bucks. I will say there's a lot of like really cool, more expensive jewelry in Mexico City, and I think it's worth the money if you're someone who commits to like one everyday ring stack. I think for me, I kind of like collecting a bunch of different pieces that I always rotate, so I feel less justified to buy like a $200 ring. But I did buy 3 rings because I have so much jewelry. I told myself it had to be like really unique statement stuff, so they all ended up being very large. I just love like a super chunky ring that you can see from far away. This one I think was around 20 bucks. It's just like a big amorphous shape. This is like a big chunky blob. This is also like 10 bucks or under. And then my favorite one is this like big magenta one. I love the pop of color. Oh, and I need to show you my nails that I just got done with Crystal yesterday. Much simpler than my usual nails, but it's like a little rectangle of cat eye with like 4 beads around it, and I think it's like very subtle but so pretty. I have a wedding this weekend, so I didn't want to do like super crazy nail art. And then in LA, Emily had to buy some last minute EDC outfits, so we went to the fashion district. They have some really good stores for like rave and festival fashion. There will once again be like a short form video about this. But I went to the Indian jewelry store, and y'all know I go crazy at the Indian jewelry store, and I got this little purse mainly for my Indian weddings, but honestly like this with like a very simple casual Western outfit would also be really, really sick. I think this is like 35 bucks, which I know is more expensive than you would get it for in India, but I don't mind supporting a local business. And then I also got this gorgeous beaded belt at one of the other stores, and it's just like so different from the other belts I've seen. I also love that it has gold and silver on it, so I feel like I can go with both metals. And I've talked about this before. If I find that I wear one type of piece a lot in my closet, I feel more justified to get more of them. And this gorgeous belt that I got in a little Bangladesh, I wear all the freaking time, and I feel like it elevates so many of my outfits. So I was like, okay, I feel like if I get this, I feel pretty confident that I will wear it a lot. Where did the sun just go? What the fuck? So I really need to head out. I was gonna change out of this because these are technically my PJs, but I've now like basically sweat through it, so I'm just gonna keep wearing it. Actually, an outfit that I wore in Vietnam that I really loved was pairing this like black bubble skirt under this dress. The skirt could probably use a steam, but it just gives the outfit a very fun shape, and I'm probably gonna wear it once again with my little Steve Madden mesh ballet flats just to keep things comfy. I'm gonna find a cafe to work at for a little bit, but apparently it's supposed to rain tonight, which is like so confusing because I'm sweating and it's like so sunny right now. Okay, I'm feeling mad lazy, so I'm literally throwing on the earrings and necklace I just showed you along with all these rings. And for our scent, we are doing Disfruta from Lore. This is a scent that I wore every single day when I was in Mexico City. It has notes of mezcal, so it felt very appropriate. I'm not gonna lie, when I first sprayed this, it was like a little bit too overpowering for me. It's definitely one of those scents where you need to let it rest. It's such a perfect summer scent because I feel like all the other summer scents are kind of like beachy, salty, or like very fruity. And this is, it's summery in like a really nice smoky way. I don't know, mezcal is like one of my favorite liquors. I love drinking it, so I also love smelling like it. And there is the outfit. Now let's get out of my room before I literally pass away from heat exhaustion. have a finished top, but there are a few things that I want to show you before I try it on. I did end up adding the cutest little cap sleeve, which did help with the back part being a bit too narrow. You can kind of see what I was talking about earlier. These like diagonal edges, they are like kind of curved like this. Like you don't want the diagonal edge to lay completely flat and be the same width as the rest of the top, because these parts are going to be curving inwards to attach to the buttons, and you don't want this part to flare. You'll be able to see a little bit more when I have it on. But in terms of how I made the buttonholes, trying to show you, I literally take the elastic thread, I tie it in a little knot, and then I just stitch it onto the inside of the top, and then you'll have these really tiny baby little button loops. And when I sew them on, I try to really only work through like half of the fibers. Like I don't fully pierce through the entire textile so that you don't see the stitches on the front side. And let me just put it on for you, and then I can point out a few other things. Here it is on. Look how good it looks. I'm not gonna lie, I was getting very frustrated with this top. Like I wasn't really showing it on camera, but I redid certain parts of it a million times and was getting very demoralized. And I was like, I don't even like the colors. I don't even like the buttons, but this is actually so cute. And something about it having the tiniest cap sleeve makes it feel more wearable to me. Like it just feels more like something I'd reach for. I don't know why. I just showed my roommate and she asked if it's crochet or knit, which I'm very proud of because I wanted it to look more like a knit piece. I can't lie, that part of it does kind of rely on you using a boucle or like using a fuzzier yarn, because if I had used just like a normal yarn for this, you probably would be able to see the stitches more clearly. But as it stands, I think it can totally pass as a knit top. And you can kind of see what I was saying about the elastic buttonholes. Like anywhere where you need a little bit more stretch, this buttonhole will give you a little bit more stretch, but obviously you don't want like the black thread to be showing. So that's why I say like try and make the buttonholes on the smaller end. And then down here, you can kind of see what I mean about the flaring. Like this part is sticking out a tiny bit. And that's why like cinching these diagonal edges is really important. I honestly might take this buttonhole and just move it down a tiny bit, like right here. This is a top where after I finished it, I do often find myself going back and moving the buttons and moving the buttonholes just a tiny bit to like really perfect how it lies on the body. Oh, and I know that people see this and think it's a very like itty bitty titty privilege top, but you can totally choose how many buttons you want to add. So for example, I could do twice as many buttons as this, like add another one in between each one. And then you get these really tiny holes, but it's still really beautiful, like having like a bunch of smaller slits. And that will make it much more like inclusive for different body types. I just like barely have boobs. Like this, you see this little cleavage line right here? This is all I have to flex. So I am indeed gonna show it. Now, obviously I've been taking notes on how to write this guide, but I'm not gonna lie, I am a little nervous about it just because it will still be a challenge if you have never really like free-handed pieces or tried to fit pieces to your own body. Like if you're truly just used to following a stitch-by-stitch pattern, I just worry that the guide won't be foolproof. I do think I'll probably get a lot of helpful feedback in testing those. So I think by the time it comes out, I'll feel like more confident that it works for like a lot of different body types and skill levels. And I'm also a little worried about like whether I should include instructions for the sleeves, just because this like is a very tiny cap sleeve that I kind of free-handed, but I do want to include that option because then you can make a short sleeve version and like obviously continue this down and also make a long sleeve version. I just always like to make my guides like as versatile as possible. I'm so happy with this though. And it's not as weather confused as I thought it was going to be. Like it's almost 70 degrees outside. It's decently warm in my room and I still feel pretty comfortable. Obviously, like it would make a little bit more sense in like a cotton or linen, and I definitely want people to make versions in those fibers as well. This is actually making me want to make another one of these low-key because I do want another Chinese button version. I feel like it wouldn't take me that long. Like crocheting is so much faster than knitting. I kind of forgot. Wait, I'm so happy with it. It's been a while since I've been like really excited about something I made. This is a much more frustrating process, but I do think making things that like are a little bit more unique to my designs and my style and that I feel like I kind of actually use my brain to make it's like a rewarding process once you actually get to the other side of it. And I do really love this. And hopefully we get some like proper spring days that are like in the 60 to 70 range though, so that I can wear this. Cause we've had like just a combination of like rainy days and like 90-degree days. And I'm like, it's not June yet. I don't know why we're doing all that. So I'm hoping I get some proper spring or maybe fall once we get to fall weather so that I can wear this out and style it properly. I'll have the guide done when I have the guide done, and then we'll have it go through testing. I have learned to give my testers much more time. It will be a while before it's out, but that is how crochet knitting works. It's slow fashion and you don't get instant gratification. So sorry. Thank you so much for watching. As always, reminder to check out Craftsy. I don't know. I tend to like get comfortable with the skill and not level it up and just like keep using what I already know how to do. And I think Craftsy is a good way to like force myself to learn new skills. So if you're in the same camp, I would just check it out. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.